Hi, this is Kari Fell. Welcome to my studio. Yesterday I received an order of dyes, new colors to me, from my favorite supplier, enabler, dealer, Janet from the Bobbin Tree. So these are acid dyes and I'm going to try them out today for the first time, see what colors they give me. I'm going to dye these warps that I made up. They are 100% wool, not superwash. This one is an off-white color, and this is a white. This is one project, so these are 3 yards long, 2 different warps, so that I'll get some interesting stripes similar to, say, here. So one warp is this, and this is a narrower one, and so that's what I've aimed for here. And this here is a 4-yard warp, 100 ends, and I hope to put this one in my store for sale for anyone who wants to make a project. It's 4 yards now. It'll be a little bit less once it goes through the dyeing and the wet finishing process. It'll shrink down a bit, but it'll be a good length for someone to make a wool scarf, and with a little bit extra for sampling. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay these in the water and soak them. This is water with citric acid already added. Some of it's leftover water from a previous project. So these will get a good soaking for at least half hour while I mix up the dyes. Now the dyes come in powder form. So the first thing I like to do is turn them into liquid. So I'm going to make what's called a stock. Now I'm not exact because I'm an artist, not a scientist. So I'm very approximate. So this is the bright blue. I want to see how different it is from the brilliant blue that I already have, and the turquoise, which seem very similar. So what I do, they're always exactly 39 grams, which is good, is I put 10 grams, which is a very strong stock solution actually. Let me move this over a bit. Okay, so I want to get this down to 29 grams. That's how I know I put about 10 grams in. There we go. I'm wearing a mask, that's why I might sound a little muffled. All the powders are very fine and I don't want to inhale them. So whenever I have the jar open, the mask is on. There may be some powder here. Yes, there was. I know my scale isn't exact, and that's okay because I use it for a lot of things, not just dyeing. I use it for weighing yarn and packages for mailing. And so this is hot water, 10 grams in here, and then I'll fill it up, and when it's all dissolved then I will be able to take off my mask. Seems to be dissolved already, which is good. Not all colors dissolve quickly. So this is a very dark concentration of dye stock. So when I go to use it to dye my yarn, I can take my mask off now. When I use it to dye my yarn, I can just use a tiny bit. I'll use a syringe to extract just a little bit of this dye. If I want a pale color, I only need a few drops. If I want a dark color, then I'll like pull out a whole syringe of, let's see, a dark color I'll use. So 20, I'll use maybe 30 mils. That'll give me a good dark color. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with my other two colors. Lid on, so I don't accidentally knock everything over. And once I have all three colors made into a stock, then I'll draw some off and put them in squirt bottles for dyeing. So now I'm going to mix up the bottles that I'll use for the dye project. Now I mixed up the stocks for all three of my colors: bright blue, Wedgwood blue, and raspberry. So what I do is I'll take the stock, this is the raspberry obviously, and this will draw me up 20 mils. Or so. That's what I'll put in the squirt bottle. And just trying to think whether to make it really dark. No, we'll keep it at 20 mils. And I will fill it with water. Let's take a look at it once we've done that. See whether it needs more. Yeah, it looks pretty intense with just 20 mils in there. So that's what we'll do. Where's the lid? So 20 mils of the stock and filled to the top with water. That's the extent of my measurements. I have no idea what the percentage of this is, but this is what we'll use. That's pretty much my standard. 30 or 35 mils for very dark, and like 2 mils or 5 mils for very light. I kind of know that. Lid on there. Now the Wedgwood blue. 20 mils of that. As you can see, the stock goes a long way. Okay, and we'll fill this with water. I think I'm going to go just a little bit more. Another 5. Lid on that one. Put it by the stove. Lid on the stock. And I've mark them all with what they are. It's sometimes very difficult to see what the dyes are, because I've mixed them so darkly. Sometimes I can tell it's a blue, but not which blue. And then there's some colors that look purple and then they turn brown with heat, or vice versa. So they really do need to be well marked. And then this is the bright blue, which so far is looking an awful lot like the brilliant blue and a dark version of turquoise. So 20 mils of bright blue, looking a little paler. I can see through it when I hold it in front of the window. So I'm going to put another 5 mils in there, just so it doesn't end up being a completely pale blue. There's my 3 colors. So here we've got the yarn that's been soaking. 1, 2, 3. And we can put them in sopping wet. Really should have my gloves on. Not because of anything is hazardous. There's citric acid in here, which is only an issue because it's like, you know, when you get tomato juice or orange juice on your fingers, and if you have a cut or rough hands, it can sting. And I find the citric acid will do that to my hands. So I'm going to rinse them off right now and put on gloves before I go any further. And I want a nice blend between colors, so I'm going to add more water. There's citric acid on the yarn, so it may strike quickly. And having more water in there will help the colors spread and blend into each other. So there's another. That is plenty. Let's put on a little bit of heat right from the start. Some raspberry. Which isn't all that different from rhodamine red. Look at that. And it is spreading. Partially because I don't have a lot of yarn in there. And the blue, which isn't all that different from the brilliant blue. So we're already mixing and creating a purple in there. I can see it steaming a bit. So let's try some Wedgwood blue in the transition between the two. Kind of hoping for more Wedgwood than anything else. A little bit more raspberry, I think. What do you think? So mixed up another bottle of Wedgwood blue. Going to complete the end here. And then I'm just going to let it sit. I'd like the color to stay more or less where I put it. It can mingle with its neighbors a bit because of the high water level, but I don't want to poke it and have it go completely up and down the length. So we're going to let this sit and steam for a bit. Then I'm going to flip it over and make sure that there's color on the other side. So put the timer on for 20 minutes. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. And the water is pretty much clear. So I'm going to flip it over. And see if it needs attention on the other side, and it does. A little more raspberry. A little more blue. And then I'll use the rest of the Wedgwood. I really like the Wedgwood. I'm gonna mix up some more. I don't like how There's too much brown showing there. So I mixed up another whole bottle of Wedgwood Blue and added it to various spots in the pan. And now we're going to let it go for another 20 minutes while it absorbs into the yarn. So after the washing process, here is the finished dyed yarn. The two warps are here. This is the longer one that was over dyed on the brown. And this is the shorter two-part warp done on the white yarn. The colors ended up being beautiful together. I enjoy them very much. This is definitely brighter, I guess is the word, than this one. This one, due to the over dyeing the brown, I think is a little more subdued, maybe muted. There's little hints of the original brown showing through in areas, which I kind of like. It gives it a more depth and character. And the same here. There's some lighter areas, none of which are actually white. So that's good. Lighter areas, but not white. And I think it's going to make a beautiful scarf. I'm going to put this one on my rigid heddle, and this one will go in my shop. I really enjoy feedback, so please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Write a comment on my YouTube channel. I love it all. It all helps me to grow my channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching.